All right, so we're joined by Velma Jackson, class of 2018, Dyrell Lyles, former football player, Holmes Community College graduate of Jackson State University, current student at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center there in Memphis, soon to be Dr. Dyrell Lyles, physical therapist. We thank you so much for taking some time for us today. I've got a room full here with me in our college career readiness class, and we're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools, Madison Central, Rosa Scott, Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, the Academic Options Center, and all of our friends here at Velma Jackson as well. So thank you for taking some time for us today with your super busy schedule.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you for having me.
Oh, no problem.
I think I can do it this way.
There we go. All right.
Can you see it?
I see it.
Okay. All right. So basically, I'm Dyrell Lyles, a student physical therapist at UT. I graduated from Velma Jackson in 2018. And I want to start with just letting y'all know it's not where y'all come from. Where y'all come from doesn't define where you'll go. So I hear a lot of people talk about how Mississippi is holding them back. But in reality, we have to look at it and take some accountability for ourselves and be like, we're the ones holding ourselves back. Because the city that you're in is never going to hold you back. Just continue to thrive and believe that, and everything will work out that you want. And I want to talk about my school. So these pictures from the first one is from Velma Jackson prom, then Jackson State graduation, and then this one, the last one in the library, is from UT up here in Memphis. But the biggest, when I was in Madison County Schools, I want to say the school that made the biggest difference for me was middle school, Northeast. It's Shirley Simmons now. But we had a 8th grade promotion, and I didn't get any rewards because I wasn't handling my business as a student. I wasn't making the grades. So I left that with a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, man, I'm never gonna go through another awards day and not get an award for it. Because it's not cool to be dumb. That's not cool at all. Like, I feel like you should want to be a nerd. You can still have fun as a nerd, but you want to be fun. Be a nerd. I feel like. So embrace the process and celebrate the small victories. So, like I said, I told myself I wasn't gonna go through another awards day and not get an award. So high school, I got on my business. I started handling my grades, and everything worked out. Like when I graduated with an academic scholarship and a football scholarship. So everything that I said, just that moment there, I feel like that's what started my academic career to where the reason I got where I'm at now. As a student athlete, I always say be a student first, because one day you got to hang the cleats up. You ain't gonna be able to shoot basketball anymore. Whatever your sport is, you're not gonna be able to do it forever. But while you do it, enjoy it and learn how to take what you learn playing sports and to apply it to your daily life. Like it may sound corny, but basically what I did, we practiced 4 to 5 days for one game. So I took that and use that to prepare for my exams. Like, okay, now I'm gonna study 4 to 5 days for one exam. So, and the exam that's basically game day. So I just took that and it worked for me. So find what you can do to take with sports, because sports, I feel like, give you a head start in life, it give you an edge over your counterparts. It really does. Like you just have a different mentality. You have a go-getter mentality. So just take that and use it in life. And I also want to talk about how I didn't go into Velma Jackson as the best athlete. When going in 9th grade, I was the sorriest athlete on the team. In my class, I was the sorriest athlete on the team. But I just worked hard, and I ended up being the only senior in my class to sign a football scholarship. Yep. So that was big. It just show you what hard work would do. Being self-employed. So after I stopped playing ball, that's like a transition. Like when I stopped playing at Holmes, that was like a big transition. I had to find out who I was outside of sports, but that's all I knew. So I started detailing because I had so much time on my hands. But while I was detailing, I was still in school. But before I started detailing, I went to Burger King in Canton trying to get a job, like a part-time job. And they was like, they only had full-time jobs. And I knew they wasn't gonna work with my schedule because I prioritized school. That's why I was in school. That was the main goal. So I will say, while you're in school, if you can, And if you like have a trade that you can like that you're really good at, I would definitely do that over getting a job, and you'll actually make more money doing it that way. And then you won't have anybody like over your education. Like you won't be working all night, then have to go to class the next day. So it just free you up so much time on the back end when you're in school. Um, my gap year. So this was after I graduated from Jackson State to starting a UT in Memphis. I had to finish some prerequisite courses, and so, but during that time, I ended up working as a PT tech. So I went from working for myself to working at the PT clinic, making like $12 an hour. So that was like a big pay cut, and I was like, man, I kind of been like, forget this, but you just got to see it through and just realize people are gonna talk whether you're doing good or bad. So block out the noise and just keep going, tunnel vision. And during that year actually made me the person I am. Like I learned so much in that clinic, and it wasn't the money that I learned. It was like more knowledge, and just I was so much ahead of in PT school because of that. So sometimes you have to sacrifice money at a young age so you can get to where you want to be in the future. And we'll talk about PT school. And the main thing I want to leave you with is chase your purpose, not money, because it's never, if you're chasing money, you're never gonna be satisfied, because you are always like, what is enough money? There's always more that you want to make. You'll never be satisfied with your salary. So but as long as you're chasing your purpose, you'll have a sense of fulfillment, and it's gonna work out. And I also want to touch on, like, in these pictures, you don't see many black people. And I don't have my full class in none of these pictures, but it's not, we have 62 students in my class, only 9 black people in total, and 4 black guys. So we're outnumbered heavily in healthcare as a whole. And it's research has been done. It's proven that when a black physician or healthcare professional treats a black patient, you have better outcomes. So this is why we need more black people in healthcare, but not just in healthcare, in the world in general, that are like good role models to the next generation. Because I feel like this is why a lot of us go down the wrong path, because we don't have good examples. Um, and the last thing I want to touch on is finding your why. Like, find the reason why you do anything. Well, find the reason why you want to do what you want to do. Like, my family is my biggest why, because they made a lot of sacrifices for me and my siblings as well. And I don't want to let them down. Like, my last name is all I got. So if I make the last name look bad, come on, you just can't do that. People gonna remember you as your last name. Like, there's a lot of people with your first name, but that last name, it just hit different. So find your why, and make sure you make those people proud that supported you throughout the whole process. And the last quote I want to leave y'all with is, "I come as one and I stand as 10,000" by Maya Angelou. And this is big because back in the day, we couldn't even get the education. Like, y'all wouldn't even be sitting in those classrooms y'all were sitting in right now if it wasn't for our ancestors that fought for us to do that. So just think about that, and think about why you should actually put in the effort while you're in school, because the future is now. Like, you may think you have a lot of time, but high school is gonna fly by. And once y'all get done with high school, some of y'all high school friends gonna go different ways. Like, my best friend from high school, he in jail. He locked up for like 30 plus years. And I don't want anybody else. Like, that really shook me when I found out he went to jail, because he wasn't even that kind of guy. He was a good person and everything, but he just got with the wrong crowd. So I don't want y'all to do the same thing. So that's it. Do y'all have any questions?
Yeah. I have a few things that I want to talk about, and you can stop I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing.
Okay, I think.
Yeah. There we go. All right, cool. Well, a few things that I want to talk about, and that was great. Great story as well. But a few things I wanted to hit on is that when you were here, you were doing football, track, powerlifting, involved. You did some SGA and some stuff like that. You were involved in a lot of things, but you still balanced and still took care of things academically. So, what did you do to stay focused and to manage your time even in high school?
I just knew, okay, my parents are real strict on education. If I didn't have my grades none of that would have happened. I wouldn't have been on the football field. They would have pulled me quick. But so I knew I wanted to play football. So I just made the sacrifice. I didn't go out and party with my classmates whenever they went to party. I just didn't do that. Like, people want to grow up early. And I just was like at home being a kid, like studying, handling what I wanted to do. And I knew I wanted to be PT. So of course I just had to have good grades.
That's awesome. Now, and I know you did sign, you played football at Holmes for 2 years. So talk about that, because we have some athletes in here, both male and female. It is a big jump from high school athletics to college athletics, because in college it's not going to be, I don't feel like going to practice today, I'm not going. It's not going to be, I'm not coming to school today, I'll just show up at practice. I'm not going to come to practice all week and still play the game. It is very, very structured and very, very disciplined. So talk about the adjustment from high school sports to college sports.
All right. When I first got to college, the biggest thing was just the speed of the game. Everything was so much faster. Like, I want to say the first week, I was just shell shocked. I didn't know what was going on. But I mean, you can't win. You have to learn your fundamentals at that point, because you can't beat anybody off just speed. You can't beat them off just your strength, because everybody is a dog. Like, everybody was the man in high school when you get to college. So you just have to be ready. I mean, you just have to have that dog mentality. But as far as having time, I mean, playing college sports is like a full-time job. You don't have. I mean, we will be in class all day, have to go to dinner, then go straight to practice. So you get out of practice at 8 o'clock at night, you still got homework to do. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna go to sleep, or you gonna do your homework? And I remember it was one night. I was like, I'm finna drop out. I called my brother. He was like, man, you ain't finna drop out. What you talking about? So I just stuck it through. I stuck it through and shoot. And I made it happen. But yeah, it's a big time. It's a dedication. Like, time is the biggest thing that you lose when you playing sports. You have to put so much time into it. You have meetings all the time. It's just a big jump.
Absolutely. Now, and I know you stopped playing football when you went to Jackson State, which there's Carson Day's doing the same thing. He's at Mississippi State and originally signed to play football at Jackson State, but like you, he decided he wanted to focus more on building his career. So talk about your HBCU experience, because obviously I'm a huge supporter of Jackson State, doing a lot of great things over there. And I know your brother's over there too. But Jackson State has almost 10,000 students compared to 200 for Velma Jackson. It is very easy to get lost in the shuffle. So everybody sees all the parties and all that stuff, and it's fun to enjoy college and things like that. But talk about how you stay focused on a rigorous academic environment while still getting the HBCU experience, where there are literally hundreds of people all around you.
Yeah. All right. So my experience is a little different though, because my whole junior year, COVID was here. So I was just at home. But my senior year, I mean, I probably had the best time of my life. And like I said, I knew what my end goal was. So I feel like that's what kept me focused. Getting in any healthcare professional grad school is difficult. So you have to have a high GPA. So I feel like that was the biggest motivation. But you just have to learn. You have to have fun, of course. You can't just walk around like a zombie, because you want to have fun. You want to take a step back and just enjoy yourself. But just remember why you're in school. Remember, the main reason you're in school is to get your degree. That's it. Like, having fun, that's not the priority, but of course, you want to have fun, but that's not the priority. The priority is getting your grades and getting your degree.
Absolutely.
So
and yeah, and I know you talked about your gap year as well, but you used the gap year the right way, because I see more and more students doing that. But it's all about getting that experience, because it is very difficult for anybody. I don't care who you are, to just go straight from undergrad into PT school. Just one, it's competitive, but two, it's not just the knowledge you've gotten. You've got to network. You've got to show that you know how to work with patients. You got to, and in the PT world, it's customers, but you've got to really have some hands-on experience to show that you can cut it in their program. And I know you were over at Capital Ortho, and yeah, you weren't making a whole lot of money, but you got hands-on experience with a great organization. So anything as far as references or recommendations. You got to work with patients hands-on. You got to deal with patients on a personal level, and all of that you use to prepare you for PT school. So even if somebody don't want to be a PT, they've got to find ways to get that experience, to get those internships, to get those student organizations while they're in college or on a gap year to get these careers they want to get into.
Yeah, right. You definitely have to. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to let y'all know, even in high school, how you treat your teachers matter. Because I had to call when I was going into my last year at Jackson State, I had to call on one of my high school teachers to write a letter of recommendation. So imagine if I didn't have those connections with her, she would have never wrote that, and she wrote a dang good one. So treat your teachers the right way and be genuine with them, because they're human too, and they're here to help you. So just remember that. But yeah, it's not about what you're making in the moment. Like, money should never be the main reason. Just think about how it can help you in the future.
Absolutely.
So
Now, before I get to the students' questions, the last thing I want to talk about is what it takes to be a PT, because obviously you got an associate's at Holmes, you got a bachelor's at Jackson State, and now you're in your third year of PT school. So it is a kind of a lengthy process to become a physical therapist. So talk about the process and how somebody will go about being a physical therapist.
yeah, so you have to get a bachelor's, and you can get it in any you can major in anything undergrad, but you have to have your prerequisite courses, and they'll be like your biology, chemistry, physics, and there's one more. Oh, human anatomy, human A&P, and physiology. And so those are the basic courses that you have to get wherever you go. And they're, depending on the school, it could vary a little bit. But you have to get observation hours. So you have to get around 80 observation hours in the clinic observing the PT. So that way you can ask those questions, because the main reason you go to these programs, they don't want you to get in and be like, I don't want to do this. And then, so because the school lose money if you do that. So that's the main reason. They want you to have those hours. You have to get the references. So build good connections so you get a good reference. And you have to take a GRE. It's like the ACT on steroids. It's a tough test, but if you really want to do
Tell you, big time.
you'll take the time. But it takes 7 years in all. So I'm almost there. I'm in my second year now, so I'm almost there.
That's awesome. And I think just so there's no confusion, the University of Tennessee, we all know the main campus in Knoxville. Their health science campus is in Memphis, so it's really weird how one's in East Tennessee, one's in West Tennessee. So you are just right up the road in Memphis. You're not in Knoxville, even though you are a student at the University of Tennessee.
Right.
Well, I do have some questions from the students, and I'll get as many of these as I can. This is Chloe Luckett, one of our cheerleaders here, sister of Kevin McGinnis, who just finished his nursing program over at Ole Miss. But she asked, did you want to do any other careers besides being a physical therapist?
Honestly, the NFL was my other career. PT was my backup. So if I didn't make it pro, PT was gonna be the thing to do. Now, I didn't have anything outside of PT, so I didn't know what I would have did if I didn't get in PT school. I would have just didn't. I don't know, but no PT. I fell in love with PT 7th grade. I broke my collarbone and went to PT, and I was like, this is what I want to be right here. And it just stuck with me throughout the whole time. So
that's awesome. And it's crazy. I hear more and more people say they got interested in these careers after something happened in their life, so they see how it works, and I think that's really cool. Now, and I forgot to mention one thing. Along with PTs, PT assistants are also extremely important. I know we have a couple that have started the PT assistant program at Hines, and it's a 2-year program, which is similar to a nurse for a physical therapist, and they're extremely important as well, and they make pretty good money.
right, they really do, yeah. And it's a quick program. Like, you can apply there straight out of high school, and you can be working about age 20, 21. You be in your career. So it's a quick process.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that, but yeah, besides the physical therapist, we need PT assistants because they are also vital to a patient's rehab program.
Right.
Can't believe I forgot that. I guess it's early. This is Naomi Smith, one of our basketball players here. And you kind of just answered this, but she asked, what was your biggest motivation to get into physical therapy?
Okay, it's actually a different answer, because that was like what introduced me to PT. But my biggest motivation, I feel like, was when I went to Homes, I kept getting injured. So I wasn't able to do the things that I loved for as long as I wanted to. So, but now as a PT, I can make sure that other people are able to do things that they love as long as they want to from a mobility standpoint. You know, so
I got you. This is Zayden Reed. She's also a basketball player. And she asked, how difficult has PT school been for you, and has it been difficult to pick things up?
it's like it's like drinking from a fire hydrant. Like they throw in the information so fast. So at first, it's always a constant adjustment every semester because every semester has its different challenges. But it's so much information, so you have to stay on top of everything. If you get behind, you're kind of jacked. Um, and then this past semester we have human anatomy, so we was cutting on the cadavers like dead people. So it was a lot. You have to learn all your nerves. You have to learn your vessels, and you have to learn how to identify these things. And they look just alike. So you really have to just be on
Wow.
top of it. A lot of studying, a lot of studying.
Yeah, and I always hear, I hear a lot of kids say they want to get into the medical field because they see all the scrubs and Instagram posts and all that's cool and everything, but you got to get in there and dirty, man. Like you got to see the blood and the muscles and the all that stuff. So it can't be for somebody with a weak stomach.
Right.
Or then in your case, you can see some pretty traumatic injuries. So but at the same time, you also have the great reward of being able to help people get back to regular mobility. So it really is something that can be very rewarding as well. All right. I like this one. This is Cameron Sutton. He's in 10th grade, and he asked, what all awards did you get your senior year? And was JSU the college you wanted to go to, or was it just because you got a scholarship?
All right. Talking about the awards at Velma or awards at Jackson State?
Yeah. Well, both.
Okay. At Velma, I was male athlete of the year. I got the principal's award. I was bank plus scholar athlete. Um, once I don't want to lie about a reward if I'm not 100 sure I got it, but those three I know for sure I got. Yeah, but in Jackson State, that was not where I wanted to go as an athlete, but as a student, yes, that's exactly where I wanted to go. But as an athlete, I wanted to go to LSU. If I was being honest, yeah.
Yeah, and we all know who my team is in college football as well. So I'm glad to hear that answer. This is Rakia Jackson. She's in 10th grade, also one of our cheerleaders, and she asked, during your path, was there any major downfall that made you feel that you could not bounce back?
Um, yes. Doing when I was about to graduate from when I was about to graduate from Jackson State, um, I was kind of in a bad place mentally because I wasn't taking care of my mental health, and I was like, man, I'm just ready to start my life and just start working. But I was talking to this guy in the gym. He was like, man, just go and do it, man. Just go and do it. You'll be pleased that you did it in the future. And so I kind of went on and okay, let me just go and do this. And it just happened. And also during that gap year, I had to apply to PT school. That was a long process. I had to write all the essays. I took the GRE twice. Like the first time I didn't make the score I wanted, so I was like, man, I'm in another setback. And I had to eventually take it again. It's like a three or $400 test. So you just wasting money at that point. And I had to pay because I never experienced this, but I had to take some prerequisites after I graduated Jackson State. And I had to pay for my classes at home out of pocket. So I was like, yeah, Lee, I'm gonna come out of pocket like this. I ain't no school that expensive. So all of that kind of was weighing, but like I said, it was just I didn't know what else I wanted to do outside of PT, so I didn't have a backup. So I was just like, okay, I got to roll with this.
But that also shows why you need to take high school seriously because that can save you and your family thousands, depending on what you want to do after high school. Whether even if it's a a career program, Holmes Community College, where you went, 20 on the ACT is full tuition. You can learn a
Right.
trade for free. So even if you don't want to do the degree path, you can get the trade and you haven't paid a dime. So I don't think anybody's parents would be upset that they saved the money to go to college.
Right.
Now, Rakia did have a second question, and she asked, were sports ever too much to focus on while you were trying to focus on school?
It wasn't too much to focus on. But for some, I can see how it could be because, okay, being honest, when you get to college, at least at where I was, the coach didn't care about your education. He really didn't. Like, there were days when I was in lab and I was late to practice because I had lab. and he would get on me for that. And I was like, what you want me to do? Skip lab? So it could be that way if you don't know, if you because they tell you you're not here for they will make jokes like you didn't come here to be a student, you came here to play football. And I was like, no, I came here to be a student. What are you talking about? So I mean, coaches, it's crazy. Coaches are really like that. So that's why I said the main thing is knowing why you're there and stand on it. Because if you play good enough and you produce on the field, they're not gonna cut you. You're on scholarship. They're gonna have to pay you money.
Absolutely. Well, I just got one more. This is DeQuavian Black. He's one of our football players as well. And he asked, what was your biggest motivator to push you while you were in high school?
Um, I want to say my parents by far, because they was putting so much in me. Like they was sending me to all these football camps, and I didn't want them to waste that money. They was sending me out to all of that. I was seeing my brother. My brother's like my role model. He's a mental health therapist now, and
Wow.
just seeing him, he was buying me shoes, making sure I was clean at school. I'm like, man, I can't let them down. You know, they was just putting too much in me.
That's awesome. Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for taking some time for us, fitting this in your schedule. But before we go, you mentioned something at the beginning about how we need more successful Black men. We need more successful people from this community. You were in this same school, sitting in these same chairs, walking these same halls with these same teachers, but yet you're so close to having a DR in front of your name and having one of the most rewarding careers in the country. And you came from this same community. So obviously it can be done. So what can these kids do now to follow in the footsteps of other great alums like you?
I would say definitely find a mentor, find a good person that you would want to be like. Like understand we want to be like these rappers and stuff, but no, find you like a real good mentor in your field. Like my cousin is a PT in Canton, Dr. Rashad Smith at Excel. So I seen him do it, and I was like, I know I can do it now. Because you see another Black person do it, they give you like, okay, if I seen him do it, anybody could do it. Because we the same. So just finding a good role model, finding somebody that's gonna keep the pressure on you so you won't give up. I feel like that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Well, I think I speak for so many people when I say how proud we are to call you an alum. In that class of 2018 was a great class as well. Just so many successful students, and we're just so proud to see everything you guys are doing. And we thank you so much for taking some time for us today. Dyrell Lyles, Velma Jackson, class of 2018, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much, buddy.
All right, thanks for having me.
I'll talk to you soon, dude.
All right.